Hello. All right, what's up, guys? Can someone let me know how's the music relative to the mic volume? Is that good? Anyone? How's the music to the mic volume? Great. All right, perfect. All right, starting out, we have something very exciting. I'm gonna do this. What is this called? War of the Ruins before I miss a reset. I actually don't think the commanders matter at all. I would hope. I mean, I don't know. Here to plunder. I'm broke, Taki. There's nothing you could plunder from me. Let's see here. So it's actually exciting times because we're finally registered for KVK. I'm going on 3 months now of no fighting, so it's good to actually just see we're registered for something. Oh shit! All right. They're just running from me. Just accept your fate, buddy. Oh my god. At this point, it's just a matter of principle, right? Just stick to one no matter what. Holy shit, how's he doing this? Oh my god. Alright. It's alright. 2v1 this guy, hopefully. I get the last hit. Yeah, there we go. Alright, this freaking guy. Alright, where's this guy gonna go now? What's he gonna do? It was actually pretty good. He just kept running from me and was actually getting more and more troops. Okay, I think I finished the dailies for this. But yeah, we're registered for stratagems. I think I actually played this once before. And if you look at the teams, I mean, I guess it looks likely we're going to be matched up in the same KVK as 1875. We're the only two S seeds. And then there's some other AB groups here, right? So like 1824, 1900 are in a group. This KVK is 6 camps. So I think what's logical will probably be we would be in our own camp. So at 1875. And then ideally the strongest out of these AB groups, 4 of them will also be in our KVK. Not gonna lie, I'm a little concerned that we're not gonna get as much fighting as I want. I think for me, as long as we get a lot of fighting, I would be happy with whoever our ally is and whatever matchup we get. But I don't know, we'll see. It's like 9 more days till matchmaking. music up a little bit. There we go. What's up, Alloys? Excited for KVK? Low-key Taki. Taki if you guys don't know Taki, she's free to play. She's a monster. As far as how she manages her farms. She's the one with like 40 something farms. Right, or more. And I think you said you have like combined over like 100 billion of each resources, or is it like total, right? She's wealthy in resources. And it just and that's from a free to play, right? Just very efficient and good use of farms and essentially just outworking people. Oh, 17 farms? I lied. Who's the one with like 35 farms? Is that Yars? But see, Yars is different, right? I think Yars acquires some of his farms from other people. Whoa, Alloys, I don't know what you're talking about. Sellers? There's none of that here. Okay, we're low on resources. We manifest it. There's no buying resources. We don't do that kind of stuff in 2268. We manifest it. Okay, what am I doing? All right, I guess I'm gonna farm until reset. $20 accounts. Yeah, I have 8. Someone was telling me how, oh, you could just make 2 in 2268 on a bunch of different mail accounts, right? I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to manage or have a bunch of different email accounts. So when I actually migrated in, I think I had to pay for, let's see, I had to pay like 8 passports. You know, essentially, I just spent money to buy 8 passports to get 6 of my farms in. I already had 2 in here. Taki is a bot. She's ultimate hoarder. 18 farms is out of control. You're poor now. I'm being productive, man. I'm farming. I'm baking. I'm trying to make myself more useful for KVK. Oh, thank you, Dino. Really appreciate it, Dino. Alloys, again, I don't know what you're talking about. You mean you've put out 3 prayers to manifest resources? We don't do that kind of illegal stuff here in 2268. Yeah, we're manifesting. We're manifesting more resources. Much less like a pilot, right? I don't even know what a pilot is. Panther has 10 of what? I mean, I will say that just all joking aside, if I could like wave a magic wand, I think that would be a top 3 change I would make in this game. Just like basically making it a lot harder to have pilots. Because I think part of what makes this game fun too is you put in time when you're fighting, right? And a lot of it is like, how do you manage your life to show up and fight? And if you can actually have someone else pilot your account, I mean, I get that's where the game is, and you know, if you don't do it and other top kingdoms are doing it, you're gonna fall very far behind. But like if you can manage your life and you are the person, like you are the one personally online for like 16, 18 hours finding that day and you're contributing and that's how you win. I think overall that would make the game a lot more fun. You know? Also, if you can't pilot, I feel like a lot of these like players lingering around that are still quote unquote playing would be forced to come back and actually build their account and have to farm and all that stuff, right? So I don't know. If I could wave a magic wand, that would be one of the 3 changes I would make in this game. 999 XST. What's up, man? I feel like I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from? Let's see. Best tip to make a farm is to create 2 new accounts in the kingdom before migrate your main account. Yeah, I actually agree, because then you could also like load it with the resources you're not going to take with you. I actually thought about that. Who the hell is, what is this? Is this bacon? I actually thought about that, but at that point I was at 8 farms. I'm still at 8 farms, Taki, and the thought of creating 2 more farms and managing 2 more felt like a lot, because S6 it didn't feel like much work. 8 feels like, now it feels like work, and I felt like if I got to 10 it would have been too much work. Bacon, oh my god. Troll. You're gonna scout me? There's nothing to see. I have nothing. I'm just a lowly peon in this kingdom. Let's see. You just run 4 farms. Yeah, man. I think 4 farms is pretty good, right? Taki, do you have an idea? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, for me personally, I don't think I'm gonna have a pilot ever. Just something about it. I personally don't like it. But you know. But Taki, how many per off season? How many resources of each or total do you think a farm of yours can get? How much are you calculating as far as like resources gained between KVKs using a farm? I'm lefty. Oh, lefty. Oh shit, it's lefty. Wait, why is your name 999 XST? I thought I saw your name in the in my chat before and it said lefty. No? Here you go, guys. You don't know who Lefty is? Check out his channel. Um, 150 farms. You might as well just be a resource seller at that point. Wait. 35? No. I mean, with 1 farm, like how much resources do you think like one farm can replenish in the off season, right? Like between KBKs. So for example, if I had 8 farms, right? I'm like, oh, okay. Out of these 8 farms, I could expect say like 4 billion of each resources in the off season, like whatever metric you use. Like right now, I'm thinking like about 500 million of each. Per farm, right? So if you have 8 farms, that would be what, like 4 billion resources. What's up, Chilsey? How's it going? Oh, only 1 can't do. Okay, so you're doing forts too. I was just talking about gathering. Right now in Home Kingdom, only one of my farms is actually strong enough, I think, to rally and do forts. That might be something I worry about when I get the other 7 up to speed. Like this farm is City Hall 18 going to 19, so I don't think it's strong enough yet. Odin, 400 million of each. Okay. 1 billion total or 1 billion of each, Taki? It's crazy. 999X star. Okay. Also the playlist, I'm just trying out some new songs to see if there's any I like that I want to add to my playlist. So I can't, these songs are not pre-screened. Yeah, what do you think one farm? So 400 million. Odin said 400 million each. That was about the range I thought. I thought about like 500 million per off season for one farm for me. But I would say I'm not the most diligent. Maybe I like send out gatherers like 2-3 times a whole day. I mean, and if you guys don't have farms and you're watching, that's just where the meta is, right? Like, I'm gonna do a migration stream this weekend, and I'll have our migration officers come talk about it. But I don't think this was the case a year ago, and it's definitely the case now, right? One thing they want to know is how many farms you have, because a huge part of the quote-unquote meta is actually using your farms to get deads. So like when you're doing like rallies, garrisons, if you can use your farms to drain their mains, that's a huge advantage. And if you have no farms, you're essentially not doing that. So if you don't have a farm, definitely start now. Because I think it's actually going to get more and more prevalent, unless Lilith changes something about it. Well, yeah, Bacon, that's what I'm talking about. It does depend on the level, but let's just say you get it up to City Hall 25. So kind of like a quote-unquote end-game farm. Right, like what, Hockey's probably watching me farm right now and like cringing because I'm not good at this. Wait till you watch me chain, it's gonna be even more noob. I think I've barely done it. I've done it maybe 30 minutes of it total, maybe an hour. My whole time playing this game, and I plan on doing it a lot more this next KVK, especially, I guess like before the first pass opens, or whatever pass where we're supposed to get like 50,000 honor before that pass opens, so. Yeah, let's see. One farm, maybe 3 billion. 3 billion total or 3 billion of each, Taki? Dimar, thoughts on the KVK? I'll tell you my thoughts about it. So there's a difference between what I personally prefer and what I think is best for the kingdom. Personally, I just want to fight like a really tough kingdom and literally drain everything and just see how well I can do. Right now, 2268 is on a 2 KVK losing streak. And when you're on a losing streak like that, and we just got some like high profile migrants, one, it takes time to build your chemistry, and also how do I want to say this? It takes a bit to integrate the new people for the culture to be stable again. And I think doing well in this KVK and winning is actually a little bit more important than normal. So, and the two don't match up, right? Because if you take a really hard KVK when you're completely drained, at best, you know, your chances of winning are probably 50-50, and probably less than 50%. So I get what's best for the kingdom, and I have my personal preferences, and that's my thoughts on this KVK, right? Like stratagems, we fight 1875, or we are in the same KVK as 1875. I think if we ally with them, it will be really boring, and I don't think the other kingdoms would feel like it's fair or even want to fight. And then if we don't ally with them, I hope it's a very competitive situation where we get fighting all the way through, and especially in Kingsland. Like at least, like I'm just begging at least 2 days. Like if we don't get 2 days of good fighting in Kingsland, I know it personally would be very disappointed, you know, and like I think the winning or not is secondary. And those are just my personal feelings. Yeah, unless I agree, like 4 to 6 farms, right? Like that's reasonable. But even like managing 5 farms, it's still like a lot more work, right? I get it now, right? And okay, but like if you told me this 6 months ago, where I only had 1 farm, and you're like, hey, you need 5 farms, I was just like, oh, that's so annoying. Like, but even like managing 5 farms is just way more work than just managing, you know, your main account and 1 farm. So yeah, but some of the people that have like 15, 35, whatever, that's wild. You know, more power to them. But let's see what else. You find 5 harvester inscriptions on each farm. That's pretty crazy. I actually have that on 1 farm, but you have like 18 farms and you're still doing that. 2v4. I mean, I don't know. It could be 2v4, but those 4 better be like very like essentially what the 4 would be 2 AC kingdoms, right? So you have 2 kingdoms against like 8, but those have to be 8 like solid quality AC kingdoms for that fight to be even, or else I think it would just be a bloodbath on the 2 side. And I hope that doesn't happen. You know, like personally, I actually hope whatever. This is just me personally. You know, I probably get reamed out for saying this. I actually hope in Diplo we end up on a side where we're like, oh shit, we don't know if we're gonna win. Because like I know like the nature of leadership and the people on 2268, they were very tenacious. Even when we are on the weaker losing side, then it's guaranteed that you're gonna have long battles, long fights, and it's gonna be you're gonna be like I'll be able to fight until I feel like, oh my god, like I don't want this anymore. I want to recover KVK. I want like 3-month break or whatever. I just never had that in what, like a year and 9 months of playing. And I would really actually like to experience that once. Now, is that the best for the growth of the kingdom and the direction and where we're at? Probably not. But you know, just selfishly, that's what I personally would prefer. All right, 999, 960, like that KVK, and from what again, this is just me saying from what I gather. I really don't know. I think they downsized a little bit last KVK, and then after last KVK, they downsized more, and we actually gained a lot this offseason. We did lose some, and then we gained a lot. So I would say like last KVK 1875 was probably stronger than 2268. The feeling I get now is if it was 1v1, 2268 is probably a little bit stronger. Well, I'm not saying that with any kind of confidence, and it's not really like being cocky or talking shit. If I had to just guess, but I really don't know. Yeah, Taki, just want a good fight. Just want a really, really tough fight, you know, where there's a lot of fighting. Taki, you only won 1 KVK? Wow. That's wild. I'm on a 3 KVK losing streak. I placed 6. The first 3 we won in a landslide. Like, it wasn't even close. And the last 3, KVK 4 was kind of close. That's probably the most competitive one ever fought in, and it wasn't even that competitive. And then 5 and 6, we got destroyed. It wasn't close at all. There was barely any fighting. So part of it too is I feel like I haven't ever even come close to being able to just fight full out and seeing how I can do. And the other one too is, you know, obviously I came from like a, for the most part, it was like a mid AC. There was like in the first 3 KVKs. It's also a step up in competition, right? So it won't be as easy. I understand that. And honestly, a lot of this I feel like a fraud, right? Because until I can actually do well at a higher level, I feel like credibility, there's no credibility there, right? So this KVK is pretty important for me. 68 skipping again. You know what? I think that mail that our leader sent out saying we were skipping was just like a troll email. It got me too, but I'm pretty sure we're always gonna queue this pop. You know, again, I'm just a peon. I don't make decisions. I'm really a peon. Like I have no say in the kingdom. I'm just a newcomer that is just gonna be following directions. So I don't know. Like this music is a little intense for farming now. It's like fighting music playing when we're farming. Let me see here actually. Where's this going? Your kingdom is taking the 5th pop again. So what? Like you get the first pop comes up 4 weeks, 2 weeks or 4 weeks after KVK is over. Then you get a pop every 2 weeks, right? What KVK are you in? I mean, what kingdom are you in, Hayden? My 1185. Okay. Well, let's look them up real quick. My personal thoughts on this is again this is like again just a peon in the kingdom that has no say in the leadership. Honestly, that's never been in leadership. My personal thoughts on KVK taking KVK pops is like you should take it as soon as possible. Like if it was up to me, like take the first pop every time, right? Because after you literally select, then there's a 10-day period before you get into pre-KVK, and then there's a couple day of pre-KVK, then KVK starts, then there's like another usually 10 days before you get your first fighting, right? And like it's that's a lot of time in between, you know. And the way the game is designed right now with the iconic crystals and the rewards and even like the stuff you can do in KVK from chaining barbs, I think it's actually better to always have minimum downtime in the off season, just because it's actually easier to recover faster than the pre-KVK and all the stuff you could do in KVK. And it's a mentality thing, right? It's more fun, it keeps people engaged. That's my personal opinion, or at least my personal preference. But again, I've never run a kingdom, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot where when you're on the outside looking in. So, for example, I own a gym, right? And before I owned the gym, I was a coach. And as a coach, seeing something where my old gym owner did, I'm like, why the hell would you do these things, right? And then after I owned the gym, I'm like, oh, wait, there's all these things I never knew or I didn't think of. That goes into owning a business. So there could be other stuff that I don't know, right? But that's just like my personal feelings on it. Like personally, maybe about 2 weeks ago now, over 2 weeks ago, I could just feel it. Now I've been in the off season a little bit longer because our KVK ended in the beginning of January, and then it was actually really off compared to 2268 schedule. So I essentially waited close to 2 months to migrate into 2268, right? Like with no fighting. And then once we're in, that was the beginning of March. It's been another month of waiting here. So personally, I'm feeling a little bit stir crazy waiting. I don't see, Hayden. I don't know if not everyone could do first or second pop, right? Like, cause, like I said again, a lot of the recovery you just get resources and speeds a lot faster in KVK. Let me look up 1185. 1185. Oh, wait. 17th by power, according to 1093's website. 22 billion power cap, 576 billion KP. It's a little higher in power, but a little bit lower, like the KP of like a mid AC, but the power of a lower Imperium. Okay. Raznaz, I think I actually saw you comment on it. Attack and all damage do not work in the same way. I was trying to, I forgot who it was. I was like trying to confuse the two. Let's see, how do I want to describe this? Let me actually pull this up. I mean, the grand scheme of things, right? You're playing the game anyways. Does this really make that big of a difference? But if you actually want to differentiate it, is this on the screen here? Let's see. Okay. So attack actually will be impacting the damage factor, right? Because attack and the amount of troops you have, and then against the health and the defense of the enemy actually determines the damage factor. Now from there, B is skill damage increase minus skill damage reduction. So for example, if you have YSG with a 50% skill damage increase, and then you have someone like Saladin, I forgot his percentage, is it like 30%, 40%? Let's just say it's 30%, right? You're gonna take 50% minus 30%. So it's gonna come out to 20%. So those are additive, okay? Now you're gonna multiply that by C, which is the skill damage boost and resistance. So for example, with the new rare inscriptions, you get a 4% skill damage boost. But then let's just say you have some hollow square inscription where you get a 2% damage resistance, right? 4 minus 2, that'll be 2%. So instead of multiplying it by 1.04 and then multiplying that by 0.98, you're just gonna multiply that by 1.02. So 4 minus 2 is 2%, okay? And then at the end, and again, this is not proven on the field testing. This part I think would actually be easy, but I got this from Siwo, he didn't prove it. Then you're gonna multiply that same thing as all damage increase by all damage reduction. So if you get a 30% all damage increase and you get a 20% all damage reduction, then you're essentially gonna multiply it by 1.1, which is 110%, right? Or a 10% increase. So attack affects the damage factor in the beginning. The all damage is actually D on the very last line. So they're not the same, and they don't have diminishing returns. The percentage you're talking about, you're doing the math wrong, because let's see, let's go back here. They don't have diminishing returns, because diminishing returns, what you're talking about is each point is you're actually getting less value from something. Okay, so for example, if I have the base, which is 100%, right, just whatever, and I get a 50% increase, you're gonna go up to 1,500 from 1,000, right? That's a 50% increase. If you get another 50%, you're gonna get another 50% increase from the base, so it's gonna be 2,000. So it's still another 50% increase. Diminishing returns happens with attack, but not actually with skill damage increase, or definitely not boost. So skill damage increase is additive, a boost is multiplicative, and the all damage, according to Siwo, is also multiplicative. So I think you're confusing two things. No, Raznas, it's not. Because if you double the attack from 500 to 1,000, you have to remember, right? If you look at this formula, it's the number of troops times attack divided by defense and health. So the only way you could scale that is actually with the defense and health. So there is a diminishing returns from getting more and more attack, but not when you're getting skill damage increase, skill damage boost, and all damage increase. Chatterbug, do you put Herman above ZL in investment? You just tried ZL 5511. Why is she very bad stuff? Well, if it was very bad stuff, you did 3-2. I think you just had very high expectations for it, right? Personally, I think Herman is, I think Herman's the second best commander of the game. I think what's really important with Herman, his debuff is amazing, right? But also he has 15% march speed, and if you use that ZL YSG march, it just feels very slow. Some people they don't care, but like march speed allows you to like stay connected. You can rage cycle, you get away when you're in bad position better. There's like an offensive defensive component to march speed, plus it just makes it fun march a lot more fun to use, right? So I personally would pick Herman above ZL like in a heartbeat. Welcome back, man. Okay, so if defense and health stays equal and you double the attack, then the A factor will double. Yes. Looks like the same effect you are saying all damage has. Okay, how do I want to word this? Wait, hold on. So when you're adding attack, okay, so when you're doubling the attack, so you go from, let's see, your example, 500 to 1,000, right? You're adding 500 points. Okay, so that's doubling it, right? So you're not actually taking it as, oh, when you add 500 attack, you're getting double the result. You're literally doubling the base number you're starting from, right? So to get double again from 1,000, you would actually have to add 1,000 points of attack. You see what I'm saying? So like to keep doubling it, there's actually a diminishing return from the stats. Whereas when you're doing the percentage is already there. Like 5% is 5% is 5%. It doesn't actually change the base number as the percentage goes up. So that's why I think you're confusing the two, right? Because one's literally just a nominal number, right? Like 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. The other one is a percentage. Okay, Raznats, I'm explaining this to you like as straightforward as I can. One is a percentage, one is just the number. If you double the number, yes, you're gonna get double the results. But the percentage doesn't get diminishing return. As that number gets higher and higher, you're actually going to get diminishing return with the base stats. But the percentage is not going to scale down as you increase the percentage. Yeah, march speed to a 6 to 7 march is even more important. Yeah, it just, for me personally, 3 marches is really easy to use. You can micro it really easy. Once you get above 3, so I run 6, there's just like a lot more times where you have to worry about the positioning of your troops. And if something is slow and it's out of position, you try to come back, it's very annoying. If the damage is 500, then you got 100% all damage, then the damage will be 1,000. Yes, that's true. Okay. I'm not sure how I could explain this more clear. Okay. um. Okay. But if you go from 500 attack to 2000 attack, right? Basically, with your example, you're adding 1500 points of attack. So the attack relative to the damage increase is going to be more in the beginning. And then as you get higher and higher to get the same like boost per point of attack, as you get more and more attack, you need more attack to get that same percentage boost, right? Whereas when you get a percent increase, it'll actually scale up with a percentage. So even if you're going, even if let's just say you're in your case you're starting at 500 attack, let's just say if you started at 1000 attack, right? 100% is just going to double your damage no matter what. So I'm not sure how I could explain this any more clear. I think you're getting two things confused with each other. Or there's something with like additive and multiplicative that you're confusing because you're yeah, okay, anyways. Yeah, but 6 marches is fun, Alloys. I think for most mid spenders, I assume you're a mid spender, right? 6 marches is probably the sweet spot I think people should be at. Feels like you have an advantage on the field. No, you don't. If I start at 100%, right, which is actually just the base you're starting at, and I get 100% all damage boost, that's just going to go to 200%. Now, okay, so for what you're talking about, Raznas, right here, the skill damage boost, if I get a 100% boost, and it already got a 100% increase, it will actually just double it again. It's multiplicative. So one's additive, one's multiplicative. Yeah, Chatterbug. That's what happens when it's multiplicative, right? Because it's taking whatever the base number plus the additive number is, and you're going to multiply that by a percentage. So, Raznas, I think you should go. I think you should go. Just look up the damage between like the difference between B and C, because I think you're trying to argue with me the difference between B and C. So one's additive and one's multiplicative. Let's see. KVK started last reset. Oh, nice. Congrats, man. The guy already has 44k honor. How is that possible? I don't know. Ask Taki. Whoa, Chatterbug. I didn't say that. I didn't say that because I don't think school teaches you this, right? Because if school taught us this, this would not be something that was it's that big of a deal to people. Okay, Raznas, you're right. I have nothing else to add to this. You're like, unless I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, you're arguing with me like basic math. You're trying to argue a multiplication when it's an addition, and they impact the total stats in a very different way. Like, unless I'm misunderstanding what you're trying to tell me, but you're trying to tell me that there's a diminishing return to all damage, that's just not true. CWIT, the square root is just a way that Wick Gaming found the damage factor, right? But let's just say we just pretend this is just a flat number, right? So we're not going to worry about this because this is going to stay the same. Then essentially what you get is something like whatever the base damage factor is, right? So when you multiply that, you're just going to multiply that. Yeah. All right. Anyways, let's go back to the game because this is starting to distract from the farming. which is the title of this stream. Okay, so if you're arguing all damage, I'm not sure, because that's the way Sewell presented it, as a multiplicative effect, not an additive effect. Okay, and I did say in the video that he didn't actually show field testing to demonstrate this. That one I do feel like would be very easy to show, but what he did show was that the skill damage boost. So if you open this up, oh wait, I'm not my farm, but if you go to one of these like rare or special inscriptions, like right, we'll do like Focus Fire because that's the only thing on there. Focus Fire, right? A 4% boost to skill damage dealt. This thing scales with the base damage factor and then however much skill damage increase you have. Okay, there's no diminishing returns to this, and if anything, it actually is way more powerful than a normal skill damage increase. So I don't know where you're getting diminishing returns from. The only place where you're getting diminishing returns would be to attack, because that number actually scales off of getting divided by health and defense, right? Whereas like all the other stuff, basically in its category, you're going to take the boost minus resistance, so that's additive. So yeah, but I feel like I'm probably boring people on the stream and confusing a lot of them, so we're gonna go back to farming and talking about other stuff. What level do you stop pure farms? Me personally, I think it should be City Hall 25. No, I think well, at least this is my thoughts. Where did I stop? I think because on at Trading Post 25 you get a big reduction in the tax, so basically you have a less of a penalty when you transfer accounts. But I just thought of this recently, like what if you just set it up where you essentially plunder your own farm, right? Then you shouldn't, in theory you wouldn't have to take that tax. I think Taki, I don't know if she's still here, she would probably know. I've never done it. I'm really not an expert at farms. I don't know. I'm just trying to get my other 7 farms to catch up with my first farm and then go from there. So Taki, how do you transfer your resources from your farms to your main? Do you like plunder it, or do you actually transfer it? Yeah, Raznaz, we already talked about that. It's additive. So skill damage increase is additive. Skill damage boost is multiplicative. But regardless, both, just because you're adding it, there's no diminishing returns. Because your perspective is somehow on the number. So if you do 1 plus 55%, then you're saying, oh, when you add another 60%, it's not a 60% off of the final, the 155%. Yes, because it's actually based off of the base. So if you add like another 80% skill damage on top of that, it's going to be 80% increase from the base. So there's no diminishing returns. That thing scales infinitely. Diminishing returns would imply that every percentage that you're adding is actually less effective. It's not less effective. Okay, so you never plunder? Okay. He did, yeah, he did say the resistance and boost is in a separate category. So that goes in the second bucket. So skill damage increase minus skill damage reduction, that's one bucket. And then the boost minus resistance is going to the second bucket. Then he presented the third bucket, which is going to be all damage increase minus all damage reduction. Right, and those, there's no additive effects there. You're going to multiply those by each other, but within the bucket, you're going to add or subtract them from each other. I think you misunderstood, man. That is not the same as stats. I mean, that is not the same as attack. There is diminishing return in attack. There's no diminishing return in skill damage increase and reduction, boost resistance, all damage increase and reduction. That's why, like, when you have too much of a defense compared to health, right? If you have 100 points total, you want them to be 50 and 50 because they're interacting off of each other. So as you have more and more attack, each point of attack you get is gonna deal less, like, increase in the damage. Okay, but not skill damage increase, not skill damage boost, and definitely not all damage increase. So they're not diminishing returns. I'm not making farms, Anonymous. I am actually just farming, but I'm also really easily distracted, so I'm going really slow. But I have 8 farms. I think I'm on farm 6 now. Get back down to 1. It's fine though. Oh my god, do I know when they'll update the graphics? I wish I did. That's actually really exciting because they said they were going to do it this year, right? And we're 4 months in, there's been nothing on it. I do think there's going to be a big... I think it would actually really help the game a lot. By the way, the next video I'm going to make is actually going to be about whether I think the game's dying. By the way, I don't think it's dying. But a lot of people, especially the older players, they keep saying it and saying it. It's actually, quote unquote, slightly annoying because I think they're saying it for different reasons. And I do want to make a video about that. I don't think the game's dying. Now, can it die? Of course, right? But is it dying right now? I don't think so. Is everything already upgraded here? Well, I guess it's time to speed this up. Did they initially say February? I don't know. Alright, Raznas, we'll agree to disagree. I don't remember hearing an actual date. I just remember last year they said that it's going to happen sometime this year. What do I think about Nev Joan versus Joan Nev? So early on when Joan first came out, I remember seeing a lot more Joan as a primary. I think especially in Arc, maybe that'll make a little bit more sense because support tree you get 3% more march speed, right? If you look at Joan's active skill, actually, when she's a secondary, I'll pull this up. Me personally, I'm going to go with Nevsky primary. I'll tell you why, but let's pull this up. So, Joan, if you look at her primary skill here, right, yes, there's a 3-target AoE, but for the next 3 seconds after launching this active skill, you and 3 allies actually deal 5% more damage and you get more rage per second, right? That's actually pretty, I would say it's like pretty good, especially the 5% bonus. But for 3 seconds, so you launch your active skill, right? And then there's going to be a second of downtime, and then you launch your active skill again, right? So that's, you launch your active skill, 1 second of downtime, you launch your active skill again, that's 2 seconds, right? But this actually lasts for 3 seconds. So you're missing 1 second of this when Joan is a secondary, because this is going to launch 2 times in a row. But if this fires first, so for example, if Joan is primary and Nevsky secondary, right? Launch your active skill, 1 second of downtime. Nevsky launches his active skill, 1 second of downtime, and then Joan will fire this Sacred Banner again. You actually get the full effect of this. So when Joan's a secondary, you lose a second of this. But the reason why Nevsky is primary is because I think, one, the skill tree is better, especially after figuring out how the language works, right? But also with his 4th skill, this trigger skill damage bonus only applies to the secondary commander. So you wanted to go on Joan because she could essentially fire the 2000 damage 3 target AoE twice, and both of them will get this 35% boost, right? So 1 is AoE, so you're just there's just more DPS, but 2, you're firing it twice, right? So you weigh everything, even though you lose that second with Joan. Nevsky as a secondary, I mean Nevsky as a primary just works better in that. I think it's pretty definitive. All right, let's go back to the farm. Is that on 6 or 5? No problem, man. Okay, I'm not farming this one yet. Everyone is confused and rocked because everyone is just guessing. I feel like that's kind of an insulting comment to make, for sure. I will say this though, they don't release the official formula, so a lot of what you have to go off of is the language. And obviously Lilith is a Chinese company. And then like the version we get, as far as in English, is a translated version, right? So I think some of the stuff is lost in translation. Like the whole skill damage boost thing. In Mandarin, it's actually a lot easier to pick up on. But when it's in English, you know, because when you see skill damage increase, the normal way to understand that language is just, it's a multiplicative effect. But skill damage increase, you know, for the longest time, I mean, it's well known, it's not like a secret, is actually additive, and then a skill damage boost is multiplicative. So, you know, how do you just get that from seeing the language boost versus increase? If Lilith brings out a cav that is only playable as a secondary commander, what will you cut? So, I mean, I think I made enough videos about this. I skipped Guo, and if that's the case, unless there's something crazy going on, I would run Joan primary with a new Cav commander, and then just Nevsky William. And Nevsky William is very good. Plunder Taki. Taki is very, very rich. Honestly, I think besides maybe like 5 people in the kingdom, Taki probably has more resources than anyone else in 68. I've had to take a guess. It's pretty wild, actually. Didn't mean to be insulting. Wish they were more, things were more transparent. Wait, I don't know. I kind of like how the damage formula is kind of theirs, and it's up to us to figure it out. I don't know, maybe I'm a nerd. And then, you know, like, so for those of you that are playing long, this was before my time, right? When Wick discovered that there's a rage cap, it completely changed people's thoughts on the support tree. Like back then, support tree, I think more often than not, people actually liked it more than the skill tree, just because the assumption is with the rejuvenate, you can just you can get a crap load of rage, all right? And it's kind of in blind, like plain sight, because you could test it, but he's the one that actually did the testing to debunk that. So I think it's actually kind of cool that you have the base formula that, you know, he's kind of figured out, and then people are just trying to figure out in piece how everything goes together. Now, in the grand scheme of things, does it really affect things that much, right? New commander comes out, it's probably pretty good. You put him out there, like you could not know any of this stuff and actually still do really good in KVK and fight. So you don't need to know this. Listen, Taki, I said besides maybe a couple people, right? Like Peacemaker is over there manifesting his own resources. You're actually putting in blood, sweat, and tears farming this. You're definitely top 10 in 68, Taki. Why is this shit making me verify this? Do we get a what's up, Dracul? How's it going? Well, yeah, you just migrated in, Alloy. You're definitely not bottom 10. But does anyone know if we get a egg or a dig event at reset, or is that like the next reset? So Dracul, things are exciting because we actually registered for a KVK now, so the end is in sight, right? All this building and saving can actually be put to use. Also, like, it's just a lot more content. You know, I think like streaming would be a lot more fun. I mean, honestly, I probably would make a lot less videos when that happens, like in KVK, but definitely would stream a lot more. Like even chaining barbs is a lot more fun when it's in Lost Kingdom, right? Yeah, I mean, honestly, here, I'll pull it up again. It looks like we're going to get matched up with 1875, right? Like, we're the only two S seeds for this. So 1875, you would think would be in the kingdom. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of these like AB seeds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 of these, right? And it's a it's a 6 camp map. So you would think it would be us two, and then like 6 out of these 8, hopefully the 6 strongest ones, I'll be matched up in a KVK. Yeah, I don't know. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't know. Someone's gonna get left out. KP goal for the next KVK. 1824 plus 1900. That'll be fun then. I don't want to be the strongest one. I just want to get good fighting. I'll say this. I don't know. If we get a lot of fighting, I think for me, like if I got like 1.5 billion, I would feel like I did the minimum. If I got 2 billion, I think I would be pretty happy with it. And then I think like 3 billion would be a moonshot. Like a moonshot, like very unlikely. Right? So it's probably somewhere between like 1.5 and maybe like 2.2 if I had to guess. That's where we get a lot of fighting. So I think Crystal Tech makes a big difference with that. I do plan on maxing that. And then I have more resources this time going into KVK than I've ever had. And you know, just kind of looking around and seeing other people where they're at. I can make my own schedule, so I can actually play a lot. So we get a lot of fighting. I think that's what I would be shooting for. Are we gonna fight 1875? I personally hope so, especially if it's us two and then like 4 other AB seeds. I think it would be a lot more fun if it was like us and 2 of the AB seeds fighting 1875 and 2 of the AB seeds, right? Unless it's the AB seeds are really strong and it's 2v4. As long as it's like closely matched and there's like intense fighting, I'm happy. I think it's important. It's important too, right? Just because if you get a KVK where there's no fighting, I think that also doesn't really help migration. I mean, one, you can't drop Imperium, but so you know, I hope that's up to leadership to do Diplo and everything. But I hope we just get a tough fight. All right, 4 minutes till reset. Let's see what fun event comes out. If anything comes out. You couldn't stay away. I didn't tell you to leave, Rasnas. I just said like, honestly, with what you're proposing, the easiest way would actually be to sit down and probably like draw it out and then calculate the numbers, which I don't want to do on stream, right? Because it kind of takes away from everyone else that's watching. But it's not like I didn't tell you to leave. I don't think we could. Oh, come on, really? All right. Because you know when your farms are low, you don't have enough troops to fill up a level 5 node. That's sad. It's worth trying later if I have time. I think. So what you're trying to tell me is that you think attack doesn't have diminishing returns? Or are you trying to tell me that you think all damage does have diminishing returns? Because that's also 2 very different things. Am I a member of the 2268 Osiris League team? I am not. I was on the second team that was like just kind of for fun, and we won 1 and lost 2 and we're out. Maybe next year. I mean, not next year. Yeah, maybe next season. I think my armaments are pretty good. Like, not elite, probably the step below that. And then my equipment's pretty mid. A lot of my resources the last few months have been diverted towards catching up in commanders, and now that I've done that, they've been going towards equipment. So I think the equipment will improve a lot over the next few months. Oh, it's reset. All right. Okay, what events did we get? Let's see. Is there anything fun? Really? Silk Road? Is that it? Ooh, that sucks. Well, let me get this. Okay. Aloes, are you in the OL team? I think our team should be pretty good, right? But the problem is 1960 and 2489 is also in our bracket. So we'll see. Be rooting for you guys in the background, I guess. Okay, yeah. So we just had Esmeralda. So tomorrow, I guess it'll be Egg, because we had Hunt for History last time. So like for the Egg, I don't know. I'm not that big of a fan of the Egg. I know like Plata loves the Egg event. I think for me personally, I don't like that with the Egg event. It's only like a certain equipment slot. So like right now, right, like I'm trying to gather as many boot blueprints as I can for archer boots and also infantry boots. And if it's not that, it almost feels like it's kind of go to waste, because material is actually the bottleneck for me right now, as opposed to blueprints, right? So, I mean, if it's an Egg event, I'll max it, but I actually like Esmeralda's a lot. I think that's the best event for just pure materials. Some people like it, some people don't. More Than Gem? You think so, Bacon? So our last More Than Gem was like March 16th. Right now, the one before that was the beginning of March. Oh wait, beginning of February. So you think More Than Gems will be beginning of this month, or it will kind of be mid-month, just because last time some event interrupted the schedule and pushed it back by 2 weeks? Yeah, it was at the beginning of the month, but then I forgot what event we had, and it ended up pushing More Than Gems to March 16th. Because I remember that date because I literally had to save a bunch of gems to wait until I got to VIP 17, and by the time the date came around, people were buying so many gold chests that I didn't even need to do More Than Gems to get VIP 17. All right, so Bacon thinks so. So either going to be beginning of the month or mid-month. We'll see soon, I guess. Yeah, but we got Egg. We got the Egg event. I actually do like the Alliance Mobilization event. I mean, it's just like stuff you're going to do anyways. Or at least for me personally, and then you get some rewards out of it, right? It's fun doing it in 68. I think in my old kingdom, not a lot of people participated. And it would kind of be frustrating seeing how there's all these rewards and we couldn't get it. But 68, it's been fun. Well, first place, there's no like individual achievements, right? Besides just bragging rights, or you actually get something for being first. What was actually impressive was how well you did in the arms training event. I was shocked. Like you were in like top 10 for most of the time, right until the very end, which is very impressive, Bacon. Oh, the Alliance Awards? Do you even get that much more? I thought you just had to be in the league. You get the 18 levels, but like, do you actually? Oh wait, you do. You get a couple more gems and stuff. I think we lost to what? Who do we lose to? 1188 and like 1900. Wait a minute, 1900? Isn't that the one that's also potentially going to be in our KVK? Someone messaging me. Let's see. $11.88 and random BC. That's not 1900 or 1901 or something. They were like number one. It was crazy. Yeah, arms training. I feel like because I was like watching a video. I forgot who made the video, but they were like talking about how you could buff it with like different buffs to like squeeze out a little bit more. Then you wait for the buff to reset, and you like hit a bar that's close. It's just like so much work. I don't know. Oh wow, it was empty. Now, personally, I think this next pop of KVKs, we're going to have a very exciting KVK. I think if I remember correctly, I think 1093 ended up in Alliance Invictus, and then 2429 and 2377 are in Tides of War. And then us and 1875 are in Stratagems, right? So it's highly likely that 1093 won't get a match in Invictus, and then I guess it's up to Lilith to move them somewhere. So Lilith will either move them to Tides of War to fight 2377 and 2429, or they're going to move into Stratagems, and then 1093 will be in RKVK. So yeah, so I think it will actually be very interesting because like if that happens, I know I can just say right now, I think we will want to dodge them from leadership. I actually kind of want to see what it's like just to play it. I know we'll probably get destroyed, but I think it will be really fun to watch, especially 2377 and 2429 against 1093. That would be a really fun matchup to watch. Well, yeah, or they get a no match found, right? But I think the easy solution would just be to move them over to Tides, put them in that KVK, and then let matchmaking do its thing, or let Diplo do its thing. Put on some different music. What is this? Oops, what did I just do? Oh no, I just clicked something off. Now I can't see the chat. Let's hope it loads in a little bit. See, 93 without the domain system is broken. But I feel like you can't, because like you already have this Imperium like line that's dropping, right? So to be able to pull off what they're pulling off, you have to be very organized and very strategic. So I feel like the 93 should be rewarded for doing what they're doing. And I don't like the domain system. Maybe cap it at 600, so you just can't bring in a crap load of farms. But if they have that many active players, I think you should let them in. Right. Okay. Okay. So where do we go from there? Those outcomes look the same to me, so attack and all damage are both not diminishing. Okay. You take, let's just pretend you have 100. Let's see, this is going to take a lot more. You're okay, but the attack stat, you have to divide that by, say, like an artificial health and defense number, right? So when you go from 100 to 200, you're actually not going to get 100% because let's see, what is this? Oh yeah, I think you should limit the amount of farms you could bring in. I actually think if you do what, like you just based 150 around 150 members per alliance, right? And I think what last I heard, what's up, Typhoon Man? Last I heard, I think 1093 has like 500, a little like 550-ish active accounts. I don't think you should punish them for pulling that off, especially with the Imperium system. Cap it at 600, right? Like make it less. Like I don't make the domain system 600. I don't think there should be a domain 2 or 3. Just make it like each kingdom gets one domain. So if you can't make it in, then you know you either go to another kingdom or you don't get to play in KVK. Like that's, I think that is a better way to do it. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Shit, what am I doing here? Wood. Okay. So, Raznas, the way you're putting it right now, okay, so you start with 100 attack, right? And you go to 200 attack, it will double the result, yes. If you go to 300 attack, it will double the result. Now, if you go from 1,000 attack, and you go to 1,100, then you go to 1,200 attack, you're increasing it by the same amount of attack points, but the result you're getting is actually going to be a lot less, okay? So, per point of attack, as it gets higher and higher, relative to the base that you're starting at, you're getting a diminishing return. Okay. Now, when you're doing it as a percentage, if you start at 100, if you start at 1,000, if you go up 10%, you're going to get a 10% increase to that base number. Okay, so I'm not sure how I can make this any more straightforward, because you're arguing it's not diminishing returns, but if you go up 100 attack from 1,000 versus from 100 to 200, it's the same point of attack increase, but literally the increase from that base number is going to diminish. It's not the same if you're starting with percent damage, because 100 attack is worth a lot more if you're starting out with 100 attack versus if you're starting out with 1,000 attack, right? So the attack number actually is worth less. So if you're at 100 attack, to get the equivalent increase for 1,000, when you're at 1,000, you need 1,000 attack. But if you get a 100% all damage increase, you get less when the base number starts out lower, and you get more when the base number starts out higher. There's no diminishing return. It just scales off of the base attack. So attack is actually diminishing returns. The more you have, you get less relative to where you're starting from. Whereas the more you have, you get more from the all damage increase. So they're not the same. Let's see. Does it change for Attila? Shadow Legion plus the Jewel. I'm not sure what, is it some like counterattack thing? So, I think counterattack even on Attila is kind of overrated. Because if you increase your attack, you get more counterattack, right? Whereas when you get more counterattack, the only thing that increases is half of that white number equation when they attack you. So they do a basic attack to you, and you do a counterattack back. So yes, like you will get an increase when you get more counterattack. But if your attack is just higher, you also get that effect. Right, so like I get like, oh, you want as much counterattack on Attila as possible. If you just get as much attack on Attila as possible, inherently your counterattack number also goes up, because that actually scales off of, again, the damage factor formula from before. Better if I put the number in later. Can't explain it over text like this. Yeah, man, I don't think we're gonna get anywhere with this, because I think I get what you're trying to say. I think I get what you're trying to say, and it's actually changed a couple times, right? But like before you were saying there's diminishing returns, now you're saying by my logic there's no diminishing returns, and I'm actually saying each point of attack actually impacts your base. Each point actually matters less as you get more and more attack. Whereas like when you get more and more attack, the all damage increase percentage actually scales off of that and does even more damage. Let's say you get 100 base attack, then you get 100% attack. Then you're at 200 base attack. If you gain 100%, you will get 300, not 400. Maybe the all damage, we'll have to actually prove that in the field, Typhoon Man. But for the boost, it actually goes, if you get another 100, it goes from 200 to 400. So if you're getting another 100% skill damage increase, right? Let's just say we'll use skill damage because that's a thing. It goes from, it's additive, but a boost is multiplicative. And that's been proven like by Seawill, like with field testing. If you want to make an argument that all damage is additive and not multiplicative, I'm just saying that Seawill said it was multiplicative. I would actually have to go field test it, set up an experiment to field test it to prove it. To say, one, I'm not really strong in that opinion, but whether it's multiplicative or additive, it's not diminishing returns, which is where the original argument came from. Dread, if you move from 200 to 300, that's only a further 50% increase, right? But you're changing the perspective of how you're measuring it. If you're starting from the 100 attack, everything is actually additive from the 100. So when you add 100 to 100, you get 200. When you add another 100 to it, it'll be 300. So it's actually another 100% increase from the base, right? So the biggest like thing that this whole skill damage boost versus the skill damage increase is changing is one is additive, and then the boost is actually taking the base plus the additive and then multiplying that by a percentage. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, right? Seawell presented it as multiplicative. I'm not claiming that it is. I'm just saying this is what he said. I haven't tested it. But he field tested the skill damage boost as multiplicative, and the skill damage increase is additive. So those two are clearly different. Now, where I strongly disagree is where somehow you're saying attack is the same as all damage. It's not. Because even if it's additive and not multiplicative, attack as you go higher and higher, you're going to get diminishing returns off of the base. Right? Like 1 point of attack, when you have, for example, if you have 1 point of base attack and you add 1 point, now you have 2, that's a 100% increase. If you start at 100 and you add 1 point, you're getting a 1% increase. Literally from the base you're starting from, there is a diminishing return, right? But if you start at 1 point and you multiply that by 100%, you're gonna get 2. And if you start at 100, you're gonna get 200. If you start at 1,000, you're literally gonna get 2,000 or 1,000 points. So, and that could be additive or multiplicative, but it's not the same as attack. And that's the point I was trying to make. Follow that same logic for all damage. I just did. I literally just talked about it, the difference between attack and all damage. Okay, Raznas. You don't start at 100% all damage. You start at a base damage factor, right? So one's a percentage, one is a base number. The percentage will always be the percentage, but the percentage of the base number will change depending on what the base number is. So 100% of 1 is 1, 100% of 100 is 100. So it actually scales more and more as your base number goes up higher and higher. But if you start at a base number at 1, to increase that by 100%, you just need to increase it by 1. If you start at 100 and you want to increase that 100%, you need to add 100 points, right? So as the base number gets higher and higher that you're starting out with, you literally get diminishing returns on the effectiveness of 1 point of that stat. You don't get a diminishing return from a 1% increase. No matter where it's starting from, it's always going to be 1%. Chatterbug, what's my advice for people who messed up legendary equipment? You craft a Shadow Legion on my second cav set. Okay, so this is my personal thought, Chatterbug. Sometimes people will make a mistake and want, like, you know, like mulling over it, regret, and none of that's really going to help you, right? I think if it's something that you know you can get rid of, right? Let's just say you're going to do 3 marches. Look at it just like, okay, the Shadow Legion will give you X amount of value, right? When you get to a point where your other 2 marches, for the most part, you've already crafted everything you wanted, then it's just time to dismantle that. You know, you take the L on that, you lost half the resources, lesson learned, and then you just craft what you need to craft, right? Now, if it's a mistake, but it's still pretty good, it's still going to be probably better than the Epic, right? I think the Epic, actually the Epic chest is defense, right? I don't know, we'll have to actually go revisit. I don't know the stats for the Shadow Legion, but you want to upgrade where the biggest upgrades are first, and when it comes time to just essentially upgrade the Shadow Legion, then you just dismantle it, take the L. That's my personal thought. Bacon, low hard trial. Yeah, I don't know about the low hard trial, man. Okay, so Raznas, I talked about this. If you start at 100%, then multiplicative things will actually give you more than additive things, right? Because you're actually taking the base and multiplying it. If you start getting it at less than 100%, which realistically in the game there's no way to do, because for like the archer tree, the skill damage tree, like almost every one of these endgame commanders, there's at least some kind of skill damage boost or skill damage increase, right? So when you get a multiplicative effect, it's actually going to be more than the additive effect. Like I at this point, I'm not even sure what you're trying to argue. Like if you can actually put it in a sentence, like clearly what you're trying to communicate, because I almost feel like I've answered 4 different questions with you. Because you said it wasn't diminishing return, it was diminishing returns. Now you're saying it's not. Now then you're saying attack is the same as all damage. And now with this latest thing, I'm not sure what you're like. If you can actually just clearly state what it is that you're trying to tell me that I'm not getting, maybe we could get somewhere with this, or else it seems like I'm talking in circles. Ooh, you credit the Shadow Legion? Let me take a look at this actually. That's actually that's like going to be a very uncommon case there. No, you're still lucky. That actually does change it because let's see. Okay, so you get 12 attack and then crit it's 30%. So what do you get? You're getting 15 attack instead of 12 on that? Is it round down or round up? I thought I rounded down. And then every one of these is gonna go higher. Ooh. Heavy armor of the Hellish Wasteland is health. Yeah, so Chatterbug, I think you dismantle it because you're going from attack to health. That difference is pretty big. Do I think you do it first? I don't know. It depends on it really depends on what else you have, right? So basically every move you make, you want to upgrade, you want to get the biggest increase from where you're at. So you're going from 15 attack to 11 health is the next biggest upgrade. You go there. If there's something else where you could go from like 8 attack to like 10 health, right? You go there first. So it really depends on what else you have. But I think at some point you just dismantle it because like the chest piece is attack. I mean, the chest piece for the set chest is health, you know what I mean? So You just take that L there. That's my personal opinion. Yeah, that's what sucks too, because with the Iconic and the Awaken system, not every single thing you get, you actually get a boost. So that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, right? Like, you quote unquote made a mistake early, right? And now do you just keep following through with that mistake? Because like everything else you put into that, if you put Iconic Crystal in that, which sounds like you might have already done, then you start putting more materials and more blueprints into it. It's almost like a sunk cost thing, right? So I would just recommend cutting the cord early, you know, just taking it as an L. It's very unlucky. Jake, you can't beat your wife. Yes, I can. I have 50 million power and the hero. Lucky. Oh my god. What is this? Yeah, Danny Vdem. Yeah, I wouldn't dismantle it right away. When it comes time where that's the biggest upgrade you can get, I would dismantle it. But I would not like put an Iconic Crystal in it. I definitely wouldn't awaken it or do anything, because I would just make it more painful. And I mean, at that point, you literally know you're going to be throwing it away, right? If the plan is to eventually dismantle it. Luckily for that too, if you think about it this way, right? You start out, you have 30 material. So you dismantle it, then you only need 30 more material to get the set chest. So, you know, maybe think of it that way. I don't know. So I guess really what you're banking on is there's two things, right? One, Lilith changes their dismantle thing, like basically their dismantle formula, where you don't lose half when you dismantle it. The other thing you're banking on is somehow if some kind of change to the formula, damage formula comes out, where attack becomes more valuable than health. I think it's actually kind of likely that at some point, I don't know, I don't think it'll be anytime soon, that you could dismantle equipment, but I don't think you're going to see a change in the formula. So I honestly, when it's time, I would just cut the cord and just dismantle it, man. Or you want to say have like a crit piece of I mean, it's 30 material, right? You just want to keep it just in case. It just means you have to accumulate 30 more material to do it, and just keep it there. Me personally, I would just dismantle it. Like for example, like I actually, my original plan, I have 2 cap marches. I was going to do 2 Pride of the Khans, and I've actually got the coin from the 30 million achievement, the last 3 KBKs, but we haven't won any of them. Right, so right now I have 1 coin in my bag. I think I used 2 of the coins on Robust as an inscription, because just like a flat 3.5% health increase right away was actually really good for a pretty good armament. So I already used that, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I crafted a set helm, like set cap helm. Right now, like later on, I actually do plan on dismantling one of the cap set helms and then making a Pride of the Khan. Is it gonna hurt? Yes. Could I have waited? Yes, but I was actually just running the blue helm, because the blue cap helm gives you defense, the purple helm gives you attack, and then when you go to the set helm and the Pride of the Khan, it gives you defense again. So it just bothered me seeing both my cap marches having running a blue helm, and you know, I went ahead and crafted it. But when the time comes, and I actually put an Iconic Crystal on it, by the way, I'm going to dismantle it. Yeah, you never know, right? So like if you want to keep it just in case, like, you know, off chance you could save 30 material, yes. But me personally, I would just take the L and just return it, get the 30 material back, and do something with it now. But it's not, I wouldn't say it's like a wrong decision if you just want to bench it, and in the off chance that attack becomes a lot more valuable, or you could dismantle it and get the full refund. I just wouldn't Iconic and do anything else to it. There's nothing else that reset. That was kind of lame. Let's see. Did I already do these farms? I think my marches are still out. If not, I might just do some Canyon and call it. You guys have any like comments, questions, anything else you want to talk about? Yeah, I think I already did all this. You need some motivation to clean up your farms? What do you mean clean up your farms? I am not a farm expert, by the way. I'm barely trying to hold on just to get my other farms to the max level. But what do you mean clean up? Alright. Let's see some armament luck here. What's up, Ethan? How's it going? Guys, if you don't know Ethan, he is one of our migration officers. He will be on the stream this weekend. If you are interested in maybe like just like having your account reviewed, or you're actually interested in joining 68, I put out my email in a post. If you look in the community post, it's still there. But if you send the email to me, we will actually be reviewing that. It's not going to be an account roasting. You know, we're not mean like that. It's literally just, hey, this is what he sees. This is what some of the stuff he's thinking. This is how you could probably work on it over the next KBK or two. If it's not a good fit right now, or if it is, you're actually interested in joining, eventually we could set up like a voice interview or something. So we're going to do that stream on Saturday, I think. Saturday evening. I forgot the exact time. So if you could submit it by like the end of Friday, or just go submit it now, that would really help. Yeah, Ethan's definitely very nice. Oh, you mean just doing the actual farm stuff, Bacon? Dude, okay, Bacon. Frickin' go clean up your farms. Don't be lazy. Here you go. My opinion on range. So, if you guys don't know Mr. Siege, he's a content creator. I don't know if he's newer, right? But he's like a big range commander guy, and I've been watching some of his videos lately. Honestly, I'm very intrigued. I was already intrigued, just because I had a feeling where like range wasn't gonna go away, and then as people kind of ignore it, they're literally just making it better and better until you can't ignore it anymore, right? So he literally had a video where you took off the gear and I don't even know if the range was in range mode, but he had, I think, Margaret and Cordoba versus Gorgo Luchet in a duel, like one-on-one, like connected duel, and Gorgo and Margaret and Cordoba actually beat Gorgo and Luchet. It was wild, right? So I think it's actually already very good. It's just like, how do you, one, you can't field 6 marches with it, right? And then like if you have the range, you can't really do fielding. It's kind of hard to manage both. But I think just like, as a duel right now, like as just like a troop type right now, it's already like really good, you know. And it seems like there's more and more people being turned on to Siege. So that's my thoughts on it. You know, I probably am going to craft the 7th piece of gear at some point, and then when I do that, it's going to just be leadership, because I think it's very versatile, and I might actually just do some Siege, just play around with it. Yeah, okay, so yeah, you watched Mr. Siege. Oh yeah, his voice is, I like Mr. Siege's voice a lot. It's very, very soothing. If I wanted to put on someone's voice to just stream and just play in the background and go to bed, it'll probably be Mr. Siege or like Plato, you know? Shit puts you to sleep. Not that it's boring, it's just very soothing. Damn, I'm like 151. This is terrible. I'm getting destroyed here. Okay. Which map did we register for? 2260, 2660. We did stratagems. Okay, let's see. Oh, wait, I need to attack someone higher than that. Shifter. Farmer has a soothing voice too. The farmer has a soothing voice. Let's see. Do I even need to set this line up? I think I could just. Frosty blue balls. Yeah, it's so funny. Rock Farmer, it's so funny you notice that. I'm like, man, this guy has a very soothing voice. When whenever he came on. Plato? Let's try this. Alright. Yeah, we won't get to fight 24-29. They're in Tides, we're in Stratagems. And then we were talking about this earlier. I don't think 1093 will get a match found in Alliance Invictus, right? So they either get no match found or they get placed in Stratagems, which they'll be with us in 1875, or they'll get put in Tides and then they'll be with 2377 and 24-29. So that would be really interesting. The Crystal Simulator is a lifesaver. What's a Crystal Simulator? I have no idea what that is. All right, let's see how I could get Plato. This is hard. Is William here? Yeah, it's Mr. Wild Hope and Mr. Hope and Wild Lion. Frickin'. Yeah, I just hope we have a like a good fighting KVK. And it's actually challenging. All right, a Crystal Tech Simulator, but what do you use it for? Like, are you trying to figure out, like what are you calculating with that? You got me again. One day, Plato, one day. Oh, requirement for tech? I should actually have enough material by the time we get into KVK to craft a ring and a horn, so maybe that'll change it. But right now, I can't read them. Matt Charlie I could get. Yeah, Plato. VIP 18, his gear is just way better than mine. Yeah, I mean, I actually hope 1093 gets somehow matched up with 24-29, 23-77. I think that like 2v1 scenario and then, you know, all the other kingdoms there, that would make it very, very interesting. Hey, Name, I have a call on Thursday set up right now, so either be Thursday or Friday, I guess. I think this guy is actually in KVK 2. Do you want some advice on prepping for KVK 3? I think with the new, oh no, did I lose? I think with the addition of like Scipio and Nevsky in the dailies, I think it would actually really change the strategy for that. Okay, I'm actually not sure how I lost that so easily. Let me think. That was pretty bad. Okay, we'll try this. See. 93 got the buy KVK pop. I don't know. I just know they register for Alliance Invictus. And as far as I know, it's just people talking about it. Like, who are they going to get matched up with, right? So they don't get a match there. They either get a no match found or they move them over to Tides or the one we're in and group them up with us or 2429 and 2377 just so they actually have equivalent or close opponents to fight. But I'm not sure actually. Let's see. Oh. Can you put the link to this like Crystal Tech Simulator in there? It's actually really interesting. Take a look at that. You can hit their Scipio while it's moving. You can hit their Scipio while it's moving if you put a march in front of it on the back line with a siege. Let me see. In front of it on the back line with a siege. Wait a minute. If I put a march on the back line with a siege, then a march on the bottom will hit it? Like what? I don't understand. The ZL will hit it? Okay. So are you saying I should put a siege here or here? Oh, interesting. So you're saying I should let the ZL hit it first while it's marching over to hit these, and I should slow these down? But then wouldn't my Constantine be taking way more damage? Maybe I should just, I don't know. Let me try something else real quick. I think I get what you're saying. Let's try this though. See, I actually want this to go over. I want this slowed. Okay. But won't it target Nevsky instead of Scipio? Yeah, I'm not Yeah, it'll always hit the front line, even if I've seen like before where I put like a little siege here, and the back line will actually zoom ahead of the front line, and then the front line will actually still hit whoever's in the front. Let me try this first. Oh no, I didn't change the armament. It's in hollow square. I think it would have made a difference. Actually, I don't know. We'll see. Nah, I didn't. Actually, I think if I made it echelon, it would have made a difference. Let's try it. Matt Charlie, it's not personal. I'm sorry. I'm just a nerd. All right. All right, let's try this again. All right. I'll give up if I don't beat him on this one. So far, it's not looking so good. Oh no. How's it doing worse of echelon? Wow, it's actually doing worse. It's crazy. Alright. Now I'm in the 200s. Now I'm just finding anybody. Alright, I'll just keep it there. That was embarrassing. Let's see. I can find it on the 2429 Discord. How am I gonna get into the 2429 Discord? Don't you have to be in the kingdom? Oh, it's kind of lame. I was hoping the egg event will come out today, or the material event. I guess it'll be tomorrow. Is there anything else to buy? Let's see. This is already done. Not much to buy there. We got this. Yeah, I'm pretty much just saving up for the new cab. Right, so probably will be in May. I'll probably have, I don't know, but I guess probably like 500 sculptures. Beginning of May, we'll see. Oh, okay, they have a public channel. Crystal Tech Calculator. Is that where you're from, Typhoon Man? Are you in 2429? That was a kingdom I personally would have liked to see the most in KVK. I think it just would have been... I think there's some like... I mean, I know there's some bad blood from the last KVK, but also I just think it would have been really hard. Would have been a lot of fighting. You know, we'd probably get dominated, but... that's what I would have liked to see. Oh yeah? What kingdom are you in? 3237. Let's take a look at you guys. 3237. You guys aren't even on this 1093 thing yet. I think they don't. Maybe it doesn't track. They don't track kingdoms that are not in Season of Conquest. Why not? Let's go check it out. I will say this: if I did like make a new account, like a restart account or something, I would actually probably make a siege just to mess around, have fun with that. And then by the time it gets to KVK 4, then I'll just make it into a farm. 3237. I think like actually getting into siege and messing around with that will be really fun. Queenie, 291 days old. Oh, I'm on the 1093 one, Typhoon Man. I don't. Yeah, I'm sure Fleisch tracks it. Let's see. Where's this Lost Kingdom? $6 billion power. You guys are in KVK 3. I'm still a while away. I think I'm at like 2.6 million. I'll show you after this. Let me look. I will say this though, we are going fast really quick. I mean going up really quick. Oh, that's a number of kills. This is a native, right? 161. Okay. Odin. 1 million. Who is the biggest fighter here for you guys? Is it this guy? Jump 9 or jump? Ooh. Oh, no, that's a 15 million. Where are you? Are you here, rank 3? Are you Typhoon Man in here? Yeah, we do need time to build some chemistry. I actually, honestly, the 2605 group has integrated really well. They're very experienced. I think they know what they're doing. So I think it'll be fun. Who is the most promising new fighter here? What do you think, Typhoon Man? Oh, jump. Oh, jump. This guy? All right. Cool. Northern Lights. Hope to hear about you guys. Oh, already left. New fighter. Yeah, I'm like really. I mean, I guess my account's still considered younger. I think I actually am pretty good at identifying young accounts or younger accounts that I think will get essentially like a glow up in Season of Conquest. Always just curious. Okay, yeah, so I'm at 2,650,000. So before I was getting about 500,000 points every 3 months. I think here in 68 that number is probably higher. Well, it's definitely higher. So before I was like, oh, like when I hit VIP 17, I'm like, it'll probably take me 9 more months to hit it. I think maybe I could hit it in 7 months, 6 months from now. I don't know. We'll see. Let's go to the next song. There we go. There's someone in his. There we go, Alloy. I don't know if he's still on the stream. Rez. Oh no, someone already launches. Yeah, but wrapping up the stream soon. Look, the next stream will probably be on Saturday. Should be an interesting one. I'll have two of our migration officers on. Yeah, it'll be really interesting. If you're interested in migration, how people judge your account, what they look at. If you want to submit, again, send me an email. If you look on my channel, I think under the community, the last post I made a list of the stuff that I would like for you to submit. So you submit that, we'll review your, I don't want to call it an account review, just more like some of the stuff that they look at, probably maybe some things that you didn't think about. If you're interested in 68, that's also a great way to just straight up go through the migration process, get set up for a voice interview. So look for that on Saturday. I know how I calculate it, right? So this is the way I do it. So my ID is 132-708-677, and I started July 2022, and I was doing this, and it's always pretty close. So every 33 million is about a year, right? So if an ID is say like 99 million, I know that it was created around July of 2021, right? So I could pull up your account, right? But if I went and I pulled up your account based on your ID and compared to mine, I could get a rough guess about when you created your account. I don't know the exact trick. If you want to tell me the trick, that's easier. And yeah, I'm all ears. So you could tell me what your trick is. So like, for example, if I just pull up, say like Gigi here, right? So Gigi's ID is 13 million, right? So if I go to 99, that's 1 year. I go to 66, that's 2 years. 33, that's 3 years. And then this is about 3.5 years, right? So 2022 to 2021 is 1, 20 is 2, 19 is 3. And I would say, if I had to take a guess, you probably created an account somewhere around the beginning of 2019. Do I think Attila will always be meta when it comes to zeroing people? I mean, I want to say always, right? Because some things could always change. But I made one of my the video I spent the most time, like the most brain power and most time ever making, was a video about how I think Seb-wounds work, and a couple factors go into it. One, there is the difference between the amount of troops you have and the amount of troops that the enemy has. The bigger that difference is, the higher the Seb-wound percentage is, right? So whenever you deal damage to a troop, part of that is slightly wounded, right? It just disappears, and part of it goes to the hospital. It's Seb-wound. Okay. Now the Seb-wound percentage goes up when there's a big difference between the two troop types, right? But if you have 1 million troops and they have 10,000, even if you're taking a higher Seb-wound percentage, it doesn't really affect you, but it really affects the person with a troop, the march with the lower troops. The other thing that makes a huge difference is how many troops you have, right? So the higher the troops you have, and from what I can tell, it doesn't actually end, right? So if you have like 2 million troops in a rally, the Seb-wound percentage when you have 2 million troops is going to be very low, because if it was comparable to when you have 200,000 troops, people's hospitals would feel really, really quick. Beyond the deaths, hospitals will feel really quick. So I think that's why they made it really low. And as your troops get lower and lower, you also take a much higher Seb-wound percentage. So the way that Attila works is because he doesn't do big skill damage, right? It's just a bunch of white damage with boosted normal damage. He's getting a lot of hits in when the city is very, very low in troops. Okay, so he's actually at the end dealing a very high Seb-wound percentage. If Attila is fighting someone with really good marches, and he's not actually getting that big troop differential, he's actually not that good at zeroing people. So another way to think about it is Attila is only really good in a rally when you're fighting someone that is a lot weaker than you. If you're fighting someone about equal as you, Attila is not an effective rally at all. So if someone comes out that can rally, that does a lot of white damage, and his anti-swarm does counterattack damage, so you can't swarm it, and can get a lot of hits in when the whatever you're rallying is very low, as opposed to just a big skill damage and it's just over, then that's going to be very good for zeroing people and racking up the 7s. I need the age of ID. Let's see what's going on here. Copy the ID, then paste it on the add friend. Wait, let me think. Hold on. Let me start the music again. We'll start a different music. Okay, copy the ID, then paste it onto the add friend, then add like 2 or 4 more digits until you land on an account which has a governor name. Then click on it, check the kingdom number, and that's how old the kingdom account is. Okay, so basically you're saying if I do this, wait. If I do this, oh wait, oops. I hope I don't reveal anything important here. Okay. The search governor, right? So if I do like a 145, like this, and then if I search him, click on it, and the kingdom number, $3020. I feel like this is like harder than am I missing something here? I feel like this is harder than what I said before, because I did it right. Typhoon Man, I'll let you. Oh, go into the chats. Okay, go into the chats. To add friend and by ID. Oh wait. Oh, okay. This shows you I don't think I've added a friend. Wait, how do I add a friend? Noob alert here. Wait, how do I add a friend? Oh, is it here? Okay. So 145. Like this. And then search. And then how do I see the ID though? Wait. I don't think the 7 percentage is lower for skill damage than white numbers. I think that's like a that's just like one of those like the information that everyone just spreads around. I think it literally, because if you think about it this way, right? So for the most part, especially towards the end game, skill damage is going to be a lot bigger. So when you get a big skill damage, you get less hits on someone that's at a lower troop count. So they're not, because like I actually did a testing on this. When the troop starts approaching 0, the 7 percentage goes up exponentially. So if you could get more hits, essentially if you're doing less damage when they're very, very low, it'll actually you'll be able to farm a lot of 7s, right? But it's not because skill damage inherently does less 7s than the white number. It's just because you get less hits, because the skill damage would drop them to 0 too quick. Okay. Currently in KVK 6, Nevsky is 5533. Yeah, Ryan, I would definitely hold. Now, if you are like a mid spender where you could buy the dailies, right? So if you look here, wait, what am I doing? So if you go here to the daily special offer, right? These guys are coming in here in 3 days or 4 days. So Nevsky's one of them. If you want to work on them through the dailies, you can, but I wouldn't spend any more gold heads on them. And if I had to make a prediction, if you're just talking about one cap march, I think it will be Joan and the new cap commander, right? But we won't know until he's officially released. I think that release that came out 2 days ago was like fake, so we'll see. Keep adding until I land on an account and then go to the governor name. Okay. Add friend. Oops. Okay. So now there's a governor account. What do I do? Oh, okay. So you basically just want to find someone else that's in the account range, and then you could go to the kingdom, and you could tell how old the account is, because you could tell how old the kingdom is. Okay. So if I do this, right? But then, like, there's no easy way to go to their kingdom from this page. So, right? Like, if I'm on this page, how do I go to their kingdom? Like, I know it's 3164, so then do I want to actually go here? So watch, for example, yeah, I'll do it again. I'll show you how I do it, okay? So, if I go here, oh wait. Okay, so if I did like a let's say super young account, right? Well, no, that's kind of like cheating. So let's do like 70. Okay, if I do this ID, right? Accidentally add someone. So it's a 70 million ID. So if I had to guess how old I think this account is, they're in 1985, right? There's 33 million would be 99, right? So that's July 2021, and then this is a little under 33 million. So it would probably be about like August of 2020 when this account was created, right? So if you do August of 2020, so 365 days. Wait, what are we right now? April? Okay, so wow, it's almost 4 years. Okay, so 4 years. Minus 90. So like if I had to guess, this account is maybe like 1,370 days old. So let's go look at 1985, I guess. I might have did the math wrong on stream. You felt a little panic. 1985. Yeah, okay, 1,356. I was pretty close. So that's actually how I calculate it, right? But for me, the account ID really only matters for me at first glance on the field, because I want to know if this person is older or younger than me, because I know kind of like my account progression and about where my account is at relative to my age. So if I know someone has a much older account, I know they had a much bigger head start, and if they're after me, I get a lot more confident when I see their ID. So that's why I actually calculated based off of like my ID age, which was July 2022. Now that's the way I do it. But I think this trick where you find their kingdom and then you look how old the kingdom is actually really good. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, and obviously if it's like a player that migrated, then it's kind of hard to see, right? You almost have to find a native account. All right, I guess I'll send out my last gathering marches, not to stream. Guys, again, if you're interested in just getting your account reviewed, if you want it to be anonymous, let me know when you email it in, and we could block out all the information that, like, you know, the ID, alliance, kingdom, all that stuff. So we could literally just look at the account, and you'll know it's your account. We could still kind of give you a feedback on that. So if you're interested in that, do it. It's not a farmer fighter. It's not an account roast. It's literally just more like, hey, like from a migration standpoint, if we see this, then okay, it's like this is what else like we would ask for on the voice interview, things like that. Just so you have an idea of at least like how 2268 thinks about migration, what they look for. Okay. Yeah. All right. If there are no other questions or comments, I'm going to end the stream here. All right. Thank you guys for watching, all this stuff. I feel like once KVK starts, it'll be a lot more exciting. But I really appreciate it. And hope to see you guys on Saturday if I don't stream before then.